Happy Thanksgiving, everyone, from the Silver Dome in Pontiac, Michigan. The Thanksgiving football tradition continues. Today, Houston's Oilers meet the Detroit Lions before a crowd of over 70,000 fans. This, a day of reflection, a day to freshen and share memories of good times and give thanks. Also a day to recognize those times not so pleasant. Mike Utley personifies both. The young Lion offensive lineman paralyzed in a game a year ago, but his persistently positive attitude, his blatant courage, has been an inspiration to the entire football community. Today, he makes his first appearance at a Lions game since his injury. He returns as honorary captain. The Lions and their fans give thanks.
The Detroit Lions would like to welcome a very special man to the Silver Dome, who is serving as the Lions honorary captain for today's 53rd annual Thanksgiving Day game. How about a big welcome to the Lions number 60, Mike Utley.
Detroit. This side is tails. This side is heads. You'll call the coin toss. Call it while it's in the air. Heads he calls. Tails it is. You have won the toss. You want to receive. You want to receive. Which goal do you want to do? Bring your backs around there. Detroit has won the toss. Elected to receive. Good game, gentlemen.
So the start of a very emotional day here, and it's in a way a climax of an entire year for Wayne Fontes. You saw the head coach of the Lions embracing his player Utley. Wayne Fontes, who lost his brother a heart attack just a few months ago. He was the first man to get to his brother to try to revive him, only 2 years older, former assistant coach. He was crying openly during the national anthem, his daughter at his side. He's lost the starting guard, Eric Andelsek. And this is the scene during the national anthem that preceded the coin toss. As he told us, he said, the tradition of being with my brother at every game, I still can't quite cope with the fact that he is gone. So in many ways, this Thanksgiving football game is a microcosm of emotion for all of us around the United States. We all have people that we remember on this day, and we feel through these players and coaches.
One of the bad things about football is no matter what happens, you got to play, and somehow Houston has to fight through all this emotion, Dick.
And so the relief of play begins as the Oilers have kicked off, and the Lions began at the 27-yard line. That was Troy Stratford who returned. The lineup, only one man from last year about this time remains in that offensive line. Lomas Brown, rebuilt, Bowens, Miller, Dallafour, Conover. Eric Kramer will start at quarterback. The great Barry Sanders, the running back. Willie Green, Brett Perriman, Mike Farr, the outside receivers. They have a tight end now. It'll please Bob Trumpy here. The Lions, they'll go with Aubrey Matthews when they go to 4 wide. So it's a combination Lions offense. It'll be run and shoot. The silver streak at some times with 4 wideouts. At other times, it'll remind you of the Washington Redskin offense, as Dan Henning has been signed as the offensive coordinator and brings that offense here to Detroit. And before we can initiate the first play from scrimmage, a timeout called by Kramer.
And it's called because the 45-second clock was down to 2 seconds. And if there is one play that can probably capsulize this 1992 season, this may be it.
So while Tom White, the referee, and even his voice as he announced the coin toss seemed to be choked with emotion, daughter Kim and Coach Wayne Fonts. Here's a tough for all of us to sometimes get through those pictures, but that's to the family of Fonts, the brothers' family, and you know, out of this emotion, the Lions obviously are sky high, but for the Oilers, Bob Trumpy, to bring it back down to the mundane, a simple football game, what's their counter attack?
Well, the opening of this game is so very key to the Houston Oilers' success. They somehow have to remove as much emotion from the team as they can.
So Kramer faking to Sanders. William Eric Kramer goes down at the 25-yard line against a very tough defense against the pass. Jeff Alm was the man in there to trip him up. And here is the defense of the Oilers. Fuller, Childress, Alm, and Jones. That front four put a lot of pressure on Marino with only a four-man push. Graff replaces the injured Lamar Lathan. Al Smith is the leading tackler. The rookie Eddie Robinson at the other outside spot. In the back four, Dishman and Gray, McDowell and Robertson. Tony Brown and Steve Jackson, a couple of young speedsters going in the dime. Tight end Jimmy Johnson, a former Redskin, in motion. Second down pass is low and outside to Mike Farr, so the Lions stumble out of the gate. Dishman on the coverage.
Dick, you can use emotion to elevate your team. It can also be so emotion-packed that it takes something out of the team. Mike Utley was in the locker room this morning, said hello to everyone, and of course he is not the only tragedy that Detroit has had to deal with in the last 13 months. We pretty much documented that 2 days ago when I talked to Wayne Fonts. He couldn't go a statement without mentioning his brother Lenny's name. That's how close those two were, and they're still getting over it.
Interestingly, the younger brother, Johnny Fontes, actually the pronunciation, has taken over Lenny's spot as the defensive back coach here in Detroit. Kramer eludes the rush, but doesn't get the first down. Tackled at the 29-yard line by Al Smith, number 54. So the Detroit Lions' first possession ends without a first down. And the Oilers, who have played some of their best offensive football in the first quarter, will try to strike first as they employ for the punt by Jim Arnold, one of the many of the Elvis Presley fan club. Webster Slaughter, Cleveland Browns free agent, so deemed. Judge's call this year is back to return. End over end by Arnold. Fair catch and a tough chance, almost hit an Oiler, and finally downed at the 34-yard line by Andre Jones. A 35-yard punt for Jim Arnold. Cody Carlson, he's from Baylor. It's his 6th season. He'll be protected by a new left tackle, Kevin Donnelly, for the injured Don Maggs. Munchak, Matthews, Dawson, Williams, all highly talented there as protectors. Lorenzo White, who played just up the road at Michigan State. Haywood Jeffries, Webster Slaughter, Ernest Gibbons, and Curtis Duncan in the run and shoot. Lorenzo White had 2 straight big games at Minnesota in a victory, and at Miami, where the Oilers almost won, and then he thought should have. Down the middle, deep, and a first down at the Lion 46-yard line as the catch is made by Slaughter, hit by William White. 19 yards in the play. Defensively, Robert Porcher, they think very highly of this rookie from South Carolina State. Spindler, Ball, Pritchett on the front line. 2 linebackers against the run and shoot, Jameson and Spielman to start, with Crockett considered the best cover man at one corner, the veteran Melvin Jenkins at the other. William White, Pro Bowler Benny Blades at safety, and Sheldon White, the extra DB, and when they go to the dime, Kevin Scott from Stanford joins that group. First down, Detroit 46. Lorenzo White's first call. nets him about 3. Chris Spielman, one of the many in on the tackle. He had 13 solo tackles against the Bengals in the win last week, and he called that his best game ever.
Yeah, in designing the defense, that is moving it around and also making the plays. But this is the part of the game today that Chris Spielman starts. He is walking to the sideline. He's a coach's son. And when he talked to the defensive coaches here at Detroit, and they said, look, we're going to go with some interesting defenses. You're not on the field. He was not happy at all. So, look, I'm a coach's son. I'll do what they want. But I want to be on that field.
Talk about an encaged lion. He was walking the floor. Carlson to White on the draw, and Lorenzo White for a first down out the 32-yard line. Toby Caston made the tackle. 11 yards for White.
One of the things the run and shoot for Houston has employed a little more than they have in previous years has been the draw play to Lorenzo White. Of course, last year Alan Pinkett was their runner. Lorenzo White has really filled the bill nicely here, playing the superback. And these little draws takes pressure off of the quarterback, and in the run and shoot, one thing that's been very noticeable the last couple of years, only this year, the run and shoot quarterbacks have been hit.
A quiet riot. Lorenzo White, you see, he's enjoying his best rushing year, approaching 900 yards on the season. He gets the call again and plows inside the 30. A tough 4 yards for White before Melvin Jenkins and others can make the stop.
There's always a chess game going on out there on the field, Dick, and what the Detroit defensive coordinator and coaching staff's trying to do, that's Woody Woodenhofer, their defensive coordinator, is they're trying to match up personnel. Houston would like,
who was second as a sophomore in the Heisman balloting at Michigan State when he led the nation in rushing. He's from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and played with his neighborhood friend against him in high school, Benny Blades, who's a Lions safety man today.
And when we saw him in practice yesterday, and you mentioned that nickname, Quiet Riot, he had a nice little grin on his face. He kind of likes that name.
There's Blades. Said he once hit Lorenzo White so hard in a game that he almost swallowed a wad of cotton. He had been to the dentist, had Lorenzo White, and Blades said, I hit him so hard that I think he swallowed the wad. To the sidelines, and they try to use the height of Jeffries as he goes up over the shorter defender. At 6'2", Jeffries couldn't climb the ladder on that one.
That's one of the things that Kevin Gilbride, the offensive coordinator, mentioned to us. That last week against Miami, the Dolphins used a great deal of bump and run. He said specifically, Haywood Jeffries has to win the bump and run matchups. And you see Gilbride that the Houston Oilers face. Haywood is tall, long arms, good strength. He's got to bounce off those defensive players and make those catches.
And he was an outstanding high school basketball player, Jeffries, in Greensboro, North Carolina, where his teammate was Danny Manning. Third down, 8. Flags fly. No play. It appeared that Kevin Donnelly, his first NFL start, and now we've got both sides entangled. Make a wish. Webster Slaughter, one of those for the Oilers. And they extricate number 89. He was who's been a Lions. Fonts in his 4th year. Jack Pardee in his 3rd. Fonts, who played at Michigan State.
False start. 77 offense. Moving prior to the snap. 5 yards. Still 3rd down.
Top of the screen, 77, his first start. You can understand why he's a little anxious. He's not been in this situation as a touring professional football player.
Donnelly from North Carolina. His brother Rick played 6 years in the league. Also a lineman. So now 3rd down and 13. Houston among the elite in converting 3rd downs. Detroit near the bottom. Carlson to Jeffries. Almost intercepted. That would have denied a possible field goal as it was through the arms of George Jameson. Jeffries was wide open. Carlson has had trouble throwing high.
He's pressured slightly, but not enough to really affect this. He's got a nice lane there. When a receiver comes across the middle, he wants that thing in the framework of his chest. Anytime you reach up there high, you can envision a trainer's visit to the field looking for you. Are you all right? So you got to put that one on the quarterback. Over the middle, hit him in the numbers.
It's a 41-yard attempt, and ironically, as you can see, 41 yards. On this one, it was a 41-yarder that he missed against Miami that might have won the game against the Dolphins last Sunday. And they run out of time and don't call time, and that'll make it a much more difficult chance for Del Greco.
There's a little more pressure on Mr. Del Greco, too.
Well, it's been a week of pressure. Boy, the fans and press been on him down in Texas after missing against Miami. He had missed against Pittsburgh earlier this year that cost the Oilers a victory.
Well, when the general manager says to you,
delay a game.
Is that what the is that
yards, still fourth down.
Is that what Holoback said? Delay a game?
No, it's not what he said. What Mike Holoback said is he can't afford another miss. Players get the message.
So now he'll test his leg from 46. Punter Greg Montgomery to hold. There's Holoback, the general manager, pacing the floors in his suite. Plenty of leg. It's the upright. No good. The left upright. Lions fans give thanks. No score.
I don't know how it is that this football seems to hit these uprights so often. These kickers are good. They're not that good.
And the 5-yard penalty might have been the difference between no yellow paint and that result.
It might also be a difference between a phone call to a free agent kicker and continued employment.
So Wayne Fonts off to a slow start offensively, but his defense good enough, and Al Del Greco's leg just bad enough. Portrait of the loneliest man in the Silverdome at the moment, Al Del Greco, missing from 46 yards. The Lions take over at their 28-yard line. And it's Barry Sanders' first chance, and he gets to the 31. And 2.5. Sean Jones, a veteran at defensive right end, to make the tackle. Now the Lions have a patchwork offensive line. They have only Lomas Brown, the left tackle from last year's starters. Bowens, Miller, Delafour, and Conover. Look at their background. Free agent, and the 5th-round draft pick from Purdue is Conover. So they've gotten better through the course of the year, and Barry Sanders' numbers have gone up accordingly. Again, a pass too tall. That one intended for Aubrey Matthews. Dishman was the cover.
Well, Dishman certainly read this very well. Watch how quickly he comes up. This is just a little hitch pattern. Dishman is right on it. Ball thrown high. And O.J. Simpson said before the game that even though Rodney Peete is the #1 quarterback on this team, Kramer starts today. It's not going to be too long before Rodney Peete is warming up. Yeah, Mr. Dishman, he's not a quiet riot. He is a loud riot.
Well, Mark Jackson, who played with him at Purdue, called him Dish Rag because he's always ragging opponents, always talking trash. He said Dishman, he's pounding that ball because he hasn't had any turnovers this year. Kramer to the open receiver. Brett Perriman out of bounds with the Lions' first down at the 43. A dozen on the play.
Boy, did Detroit need a play like that. Nothing to this point they had called offensively worked. Full protection. Kramer steps to this one very nicely, even though there's a little game run up front. Ray Childress is right in his face. Easily done. Jackson on the coverage, but he's got enough for the first down. Inside receiver out of the slot. Well, breaks away from the young rookie defensive back. You would think that these defensive backs are certainly used to looking at the run and shoot.
Brett Perriman, one of the strongest wide receivers in football, can bench press 500 pounds.
I'd like to see that. I'd like to see that.
Barry Sanders using that stutter step, that T-stop from tennis move of his, and he skitters out to the 50-yard line, a gain of nearly 7.
Now there's a lot of statistics kept in the NFL. Some of the private ones say that Barry Sanders is the best back in the league at making the first guy miss.
And the second.
And the third. Jim Eddy told us last night, the defensive coordinator of the Houston Oilers, they got to surround him, keep him in the box.
Barry Sanders from Oklahoma State, where he won the Heisman. You see 3.5-yard average the first 6 games, 5.1 the last 5, and much more yardage and touchdowns. That reflects the better offensive line work. Look at that. How does he get out of trouble on the first down at the 46-yard line? Corralled, and that was the word used by the Oilers as we talked to him yesterday. The defender saying, we've got to put a rope around him. We've got to build a corral. But Sanders finds a way to escape.
He's very dangerous long yardage situations. You get a wide rush by anybody in the defense, and that's where Barry Sanders goes through. You mentioned his success. A lot of people around the country wondering why the Lions went from the run and shoot to more tight ends. They were facing defenses with 7 guys at the line of scrimmage. They need 150 yards a game from Barry Sanders.
Sanders again. Good solid tackle by Marcus Robertson to drop him at the 36-yard line. That's close to another first down.
Just to show you what a mule this kid is for the Detroit Lions. I mean, the workload. In 9 of 11 games to this point in the season, he's been the only running back to carry the ball. Last year, in 10 of 16 games, he was the only running back to carry the ball. And Lynn Fonts goes nowhere without Barry Sanders and always checks on Barry Sanders first.
He has a chance to hit the 1,000-yard mark today, become the 3rd of this season to hit 1,000 yards. Barry Foster of the Steelers, Emmitt Smith of Dallas, already over 1,100. Ray Childress charging through. Let's see if he was thrown offside. From his reaction, looked as if Childress guessed wrong.
There's a man who's frustrated. He's one of those guys who has the makeup that he never.
Encroachment. Number 79, defense. 5 yards. First down.
Childress never gives up on any play, never gives up on any team, never gives up anywhere. Moved from defensive end into defensive tackle, doesn't like it, but is resigned to playing in there and is an all-pro.
Just not playing, but playing with excellence. He's been in the Pro Bowl the last 3 years. Buckley watches from the sidelines, cheering for his teammates. No score. 4:17 left, first quarter. First down play to Sanders. And a flag goes down as a face mask at the 28-yard line. William Fuller made the tackle. We'll see against whom they call the penalty.
When you talk to this coaching staff of the Detroit Lions, the thing that amazes me most when they talk about Barry Sanders, as good a football player as he is, they all say he's an even better person.
Who wouldn't want that accolade?
Personal foul. Grabbing the face mask. Half the distance to the goal. Number 95. First down.
It was Fuller that gets the 15-yard penalty.
Reverse angle, left hand across the face mask. Certainly dangerous for all players. That was a flagrant foul. You see the sweep. Bowen 66 out in front. Yeah, Fuller spins him all the way around. Half the distance to the goal penalty. First down, Detroit.
From the 14-yard line, there's the Fuller rush man. 7 sacks this year for Fuller, who led the Oilers with 15 last year. Again, Sanders gets the call. And that time they corralled him was Al Smith, 54, who was going to have a busy day. He was almost perspiring as he talked about Barry Sanders yesterday. He said, I know I'm going to have a tough job, but he made that play, kept him within his range. Here he is, the man from Utah State who had more tackles than anyone in the history of that school when he left.
All the defensive players from Houston were willing and quick to admit, even though they faced Barry Foster twice, this is the best running back they have faced at this point in the season.
7 play of the drive, 6 of them runs by Sanders. And again, encroachment. Jeff Olm, a former Notre Damer, in the backfield to tackle Sanders, but no play.
Well, penalties have hurt Houston, but on a short week, it's hard as a player to concentrate. There are a lot of things you have to overcome. You're still sore. You're still stiff. It's your third straight road game if you're a Houston Oiler. They flew in here at 1 a.m. the other night. Body clocks are really off for these Houston Oiler players.
Offsides. Number 76 defense. 5-yard penalty. Full second down.
Well, the penalty against Ohm. It'll be first down and 5. The first down if they cross the 4-yard line, and the ball now rests at the 8.
5 penalties in the first quarter. That has to be just not being used to the short week and also the third road trip in a row.
Yeah, it's a tough call for Jack Hardy's team, and they're now almost in that desperate zone for victory. They lose today, they're 6-6, and this is a team many have thought would be a real contender to be the Super Bowl finalist. Good coverage by Dishman. No. Penalty, Dishman.
He bumped him.
Beyond the 5 yards.
No, they're not number 1. They're number 3 in the AFC Central.
So the penalty yards mount against the Houston Oilers.
There's no question that Dishman pushed him.
There is no penalty on the play. The pass was uncatchable. Third down.
Goodness.
The pass was uncatchable, and the gesture apparently wasn't caught either.
There's no question that there's contact there. Whether the ball is catchable or not is a judgment call by the officials. This is the fade pattern run. I don't know if that was catchable or not. I mean, if he's unimpeded to the ball, he's got a shot to catch that thing.
Intended for Hammond Moore, 84, the second-year receiver from Virginia, number 1 pick. Kramer just gets it off, and now will scramble. Inside the 5, he's close to a first down. Eddie Robinson, the rookie from Alabama State, the former Hornet, stops Kramer right at the sticks. It'll depend on the mark.
There's Dan Henning, former head coach of San Diego. He's the offensive coordinator. Came in here, brought tight ends to alleviate some of the pressure from Barry Sanders. This team, the Detroit Lions, only has 2 running backs on its roster.
Well, the Oilers have only 3. Can you believe 5 running backs total?
No, these 2 teams have more quarterbacks than they have running backs. The game has changed light years.
Trying to measure. Mike Holoback, you saw his picture earlier, the general manager of the Oilers, who played in the Thanksgiving Day game in 1947 for the Chicago Bears, said that, hey, 5 running backs. There's Holoback. He said, you know, the average team used to have, 6 running backs.
Sure. And you were scared when the 6th or the first got hurt because you were down to your last 5.
It is just short, and Wayne Fonts on 4th and about a foot. He's going to go for it.
Well, now this year with the tight ends, they can. Now, last year with the pure run and shoot, no tight ends, it was a real problem. They've already gone for it 4 times this season, and with the tight end in the backfield, and they put 3 tight ends in the game, that's got a more reasonable chance to make it.
They put Jimmy Johnson, a 255-pound tight end, at that up-back position. Barry Sanders waits. Barry Sanders driving to the 1. Oh, my! Jordan-esque.
We're not talking about a big running back. 5'8", around 200 pounds. Watch the leg strength. Runs through Dumas.
After shredding Robertson, who had him for a loss.
Wayne and Kim Fonts celebrate the first down.
So 4 shots from the 1-yard line for the Detroit Lions to break this early scoreless tie. Who else but Sanders, twisting, but gains nothing. Al Smith was one of the Houston tacklers. Sanders 32 yards rushing now, all on this drive. He's not scored a touchdown at the Silverdome this year. That in itself quite remarkable. He has a total of 6 all on the road. Last year 14 touchdowns, and he scored plenty here. The Lions were unbeaten at home, 9-0, including their playoff win against Dallas.
Not quite the same though in 1992. Not Barry Sanders' fault, as we said, but not quite the same record here at home.
Final seconds, first quarter. He didn't get in, and great charge defensively from Eugene Seal, the 5'10", 253-pound linebacker. He's a Barry Sanders style build, only just about 45 pounds heavier. So Seal clapping at his own personal effort. The end of the first quarter. No score. The Lions on the door.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper is just what the doctor ordered. By the people at Nike, who encourage you to just do it. By Canon. Canon cameras, so advanced they're simple. And by Mazda. Mazda, it just feels right.
Welcome back. We open the second quarter. No score. The Detroit Lions 3rd and goal at the 1-yard line. An 8-minute plus drive. The Oilers had only one possession in that first quarter and missed on the 46-yard field goal. Now Fonts, 2 tries by Sanders from the 1 and knocked away by the Oiler defense. Does he go with Sanders again?
I think it's 2 more tries by the Detroit Lions if necessary.
Same formation. Sanders pinwheels into the end zone. A man from Wichita left after his junior year at Oklahoma State, explaining that at only 24 years of age, he's the all-time Lion rusher. Over 5,200 yards, gets his first home score.
Dick, in that drive, Barry Sanders carried it 10 times.
That could be a message.
Yes.
For the Lions' opponents the rest of the way. There's young Jason Hansen. The Washington State kicks it through. It's 7-0.
One of the things you can't coach any running back is the feel for the game, the bounce. You see Jimmy Johnson leading him. Look at the move inside. Johnson is the only guy that keeps him out of the end zone. He flips around and scores.
72 yards, 14 plays, touchdown, Barry Sanders. In only his 4th season, Barry Sanders has another touchdown, his 50th. 50 already. The kick by Hansen down to Pat Coleman. And Coleman to the 25-yard line. Barry Sanders doesn't say much, but he knows what day it is.
I'd like to wish a happy Thanksgiving Day to the Sanders family in Wichita that couldn't be with me today, and other family I have everywhere else. You know who you are.
With wrinkled.
That is not an ordinary graphic time of possession for Detroit Lions fans. They just haven't had the ball much this year. Next to last in the league, yet they're 2-1 over Houston to start the game today.
And in this season, when they lead in possession time, it has produced wins 6-0.
They come out with 6 defensive backs in this sequence against the 4 wide receivers that Cody Carlson deploys. On the 25. Good protection. Wide open. Webster Slaughter. And the former San Diego State star is to the 37-yard line. Ray Crockett made the bump out of bounds.
Nice block also by Curtis Duncan out there to extend the run a little bit.
Now, we showed you the Lions with all the free agents. The Oilers and let me fill in the blanks. Maggs supplemental, but was a #2 pick. Dawson free agent, but he was a #2 pick originally by the Cardinals. So they're all either 1s or 2s in the offensive line. Maggs is out, however, and being replaced by a 3rd-round pick. There's Maggs. Kevin Donnelly at left tackle today. Underneath, and Lorenzo White can't control. Coming up to make the hit was Benny Blades. That would have been a little homecoming there for the 2 young guys from Fort Lauderdale.
That was an awful busy play just to try to throw the ball to White. Watch what happens. They fake the counter. Jenkins comes on the blitz on Carlson. He has to hurry it a little bit, and Lorenzo White can't make the catch. So far, Houston's offense has done 0, and it doesn't look like the way Detroit's going to be able to run the ball. They're going to have many chances, Dick.
They were ruling the fact that in the second half against Miami, they had only 3 possessions, moved the ball each time it got so little out of it. Have only this now their 2nd possession, and we're in the 2nd period. White pushed to the 40. A tough 3. Melvin Jenkins and others with the stop.
Yeah, Dick, to carry your point about the job they did against Miami, this game of football is very simple. 2 things: control the line of scrimmage and have balance. Run to pass, offense to defense. If you can be around even in all those spots, then things can work for you. But when you have a defense that is on the field for over 8 minutes in the first quarter, all of a sudden Houston's defense now tired. Now the offense has got to keep the ball to give the defense some rest.
And here's a 3rd and 7 for Carlson as Warren Moon, injured on the sidelines, watches. To Slaughter, not even close, only a 2-yard gain.
Yeah, and he's a veteran receiver.
And that's a veteran cornerback, Melvin Jenkins, who starred with the Seattle Seahawks and played 3 years up in the Canadian League at Calgary, and hasn't lost a thing. He's having a fine season.
One of the things about the run and shoot is that they've not been able to get the ball down the field much anymore the way they used to. Defenses are just not giving them the deep throw.
Mel Gray, the best kick returner. Although Deion Sanders might argue, but he's had more time in the league and he's produced every season. Gray, who last year led in kick and punt returns, first time ever, NFL history. Flags down, however, and he is 2 at the 19-yard line. Bruce Matthews made the tackle and flags down. 45 yards on the kick. Jack Pardee, Wayne Fonts. Couldn't find 2 personalities more juxtaposed, could you?
No. And I'm glad we found out what kind of mud Jack Pardee was either buying or selling. He explained it to us.
He was selling.
Educated us.
There is no foul on the play. Timeout.
And we will reveal that mud story as the vice president of that company, Jack Pardee, told us.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Starter. Look for the stars and you'll find Starter. By the Card, the American Express card. Don't leave home without it. By Diet Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Diet Dr. Pepper, the taste you've been looking for. And by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
Thanksgiving football celebration here in Pontiac. Of course, it's the entire state of Michigan. It's not just the Detroit team. The state supports its sports franchises, and when all 4 come offside, you figure somebody pulled back for the Lions. It could have been Pat Conover, the right tackle.
False start. 76 offense. Moving prior to the snap. 5 yards.
You caught him, but then at that size, it's hard to disguise a little movement backwards. Penalty on Detroit.
The penalties plaguing the Oilers on the Lions drive to a touchdown, eventually scored by Barry Sanders from a yard out. Detroit has been guilty of too many fouls in their coaching staff's evaluation. Kramer under pressure underneath the Perryman, hit immediately at the 20-yard line. Steve Jackson assisted on the play by Eddie Robinson.
very important to make completions there, because Houston is now putting 7 guys up at the line of scrimmage. So even though it's for very few yards, it's important to try to get the Houston defense out of those 7 guys at the line of scrimmage. And that 7-man defensive front is to stop number 20.
Second down and 8. Kramer 2 for 5. Both catches by Perriman.
Look at the crowd at the line of scrimmage there, Dick.
Here comes Sanders. And a rare time dragged down behind the line of scrimmage by the All-Pro Ray Childress.
Childress jumps around the block, basically took away any chance for Barry Sanders to move. Watch what he does here. He comes around the block. And you see Al Smith, 54, give him an assist. Made Barry Sanders bounce outside, but Detroit's now got to throw the ball down the field. Get those 7 guys away from the line of scrimmage a little bit. Loosen up that defense.
Yeah, the cattle rancher. Childress, he owns a spread of 1,800 acres, about 1,000 head of cattle. Corrected me, I called it a farm, and you don't say that in Texas.
Huge mistake.
Perriman again. That's Kramer's favorite target, and he has a first down out of bounds at the 36-yard line. 18 more yards.
This is very important for Detroit's offense. Loosen that defense up. Be a threat somewhat down the field. Excellent pattern run. Again, we saw the same one before, the same combination. Brett Perriman, Tony Brown to the outside. Watch the out pattern run. See, Brown just drops him. Kramer does a good job of looking around through the defense and finding the guy who was open.
Perriman, one of the many City of Miami products in the National Football League. Free spirit. He has 15 kids that he brings to all the home games. 5 chaperones from the inner city cheering in today, enjoying the game. Kramer fires. Herman Moore has his first catch. It's good for about 10. Same pattern the other side of the field.
Moore came into the game with a turf toe and kind of a bruised shoulder. They weren't sure he was going to be able to contribute, but this is Moore on Dishman. Nice little hesitation move there, then the hitch to the outside. Moore is a big receiver, and when you got big receivers, just stand there like a goalie and play big. Hope the quarterback gets you right between the numbers.
Set the receiving records for the Cavs at the University of Virginia, now in his 2nd season. That's his 30th catch this year, and they have bruised that turf toe. Sanders, oh, he was just 1 man away, and it was Bubba McDowell who saved a long run.
I think, again, that's the defensive design by Jim Eddy. They've got to keep that 1 extra man at the line of scrimmage. You can't really see McDowell in the picture. Here he is. Here he comes. He's going to be right there to make the tackle. See, the offensive line can account for the 5 guys, but the 6th is McDowell, the strong safety, and he's there to make the tackle. The defense worked.
Second down and 8. Sanders. Stopped cold at the 50 crowd of Oilers after a yard gain. Eddie Robinson, the rookie, better every week. He did not even go to college on a football scholarship, an academic scholarship to Alabama State. Majored in chemistry there and was a walk-on freshman. I just always catches my eye when here's an NFL player, a walk-on in college. No one thought enough of him for whatever reason to give him a full scholarship, and yet here he is playing in the big league.
Some of these guys see the weight room for the first time when they go to college, and suddenly the coach sees this little muscled athlete walking around campus. Son, you can play football.
3rd and 7 for Kramer. William Eric Kramer down the middle. Mike Farr at the 24. A flag is down at the line of scrimmage. That may come back. Farr, the son of Mel Farr, one of the great runners in Lion history. And that one won't count. A clipping call. There's a rare signal. It used to be a common one in the NFL, but with all the rule changes to avoid that very destructive block below, especially the one below the legs or below the waist, but any block in the back is a clip.
Yeah, I believe that's a 15-yard penalty too.
It is.
Personal foul. Clipping. 67 offense. 15 yards. Replay third down.
The Diesel, Ken Delafour, who has such bad knees he doesn't practice hardly at all week long.
You're going to see it on Ray Childress. The pass is gone. An unnecessary clip by Delafour, a veteran player who has very bad knees. You would certainly be surprised that a guy who has had that many knee surgeries would hit anybody in the knee.
It's a 41-yard play. 26 they don't get, and 15 they take away. And thinking that the Oilers would be looking past, they give it to Sanders, and Sanders is smothered at the 35-yard line, and on comes the Lion punting team.
Actually, you hear the Detroit fans screaming and yelling. They don't like this call, but Barry Sanders, 3rd and long, is probably the most dangerous back in the game.
Jim Arnold to punt. He's had just one block this year against the Steelers, and then added a long string without being blocked. Webster Slaughter at the other end at the 20. Beautiful spiral. Slaughter just did elude Harry Colon, number 21, who was down first and then is stopped at the 20-yard line by Andre Jones. Oilers ball, down by 7. Well, it's a day where you can give your loved ones a big hug, but certainly don't do what Ken Delafour did Childress. Delafour, he's got a great way to protect those aching knees of his.
He doesn't practice.
Carlson to Lorenzo White out to the 29-yard line just to complete the story. Well, Delafour used to tape aspirins to his knees, yes, figuring that would help the pain.
Yeah, unfortunately, Dick, that's kind of an IQ test for offensive linemen. Most people take aspirin. They don't tape aspirin. I'm presuming he had one of those cheap phones and didn't get the right message. He was taping them, not taking them, but he doesn't practice during the week. His knees are so bad that he can do nothing physical. He goes through all the film sessions and then plays on Sunday.
And it takes him the last guy out of the locker room. I mean, here's a guy who just wants to play at the 33. Won't give it up. 2nd and 1. White for a first down to the 31-yard line. Chris Spielman making the tackle.
Certainly looked like Lorenzo White there taking a page from Barry Sanders' book. Nice little spin move, but watch the other side. Chris Spielman, first of all, taking on Dawson 66, and then there for the tackle. Now this young man, among other things, can scare you when you sit with him, and he's listened to your radio show a few years ago.
Yeah, he corrected you. You're back in your old radio show in Cincinnati. He said, you said that Ryan Bosworth would be a better football player than me, and I've never forgotten it. Carlson going deep, has a man wide open, Gibbons. And Ernest Gibbons, who was very questionable whether he could play a severely twisted ankle against Miami, and he has the speed to get deep, and it gives the Oilers a first down at the 28-yard line. 41-yard play.
Well, you could see that heavily taped ankle too. This is a young man that they need a lot of production out of. He is, when they lost Drew Hill last year, they need these slot receivers. They're the big guys. It's just a corner pattern run. And frankly, the coverage was not acceptable. Blades just didn't rotate out far enough. You see him again just up the field. Blades is trying to read the quarterback. Carlson throws it beautifully for a big pickup.
Trailing 7-0 with 4.5 minutes to go in this first half. That's his long catch of the year for Gibbons. And a flag down. They've spent their time. Delay of game.
A lot of what makes the run and shoot work is the ability to stand at the line of scrimmage and audibilize to something else. In other words, you put your defense out there, then we'll decide what play we're going to run. Carlson's not had a lot of starts. Only 8 in the run and shoot. Warren Moon is for sure a little more expert at going to the audibles.
So first down and 15 for Carlson. Flag down. And so is Carlson. Kelvin Pritchett, who had 2 sacks against the Bengals last week.
Boy, Dick, that was great coverage down the field by Detroit.
If there's an underestimated segment of this Lion team, this roster, it's their defensive unit, particularly their back 4 defenders. They're very good.
That's Woody Woodenhofer, the defensive coordinator. And I think the reason there was such coverage is watch this penalty, Dick. I think it's going to be on the guys in blue.
Illegal use of the hands to the face. Number 91 defense. That's a first down.
That's the
Corshey, the rookie from South Carolina State, first-round pick of the Lions.
That's the home blue. You see 91 hands to the face of Munchak, 63. So it wasn't the coverage downfield, but it did give Houston a first down.
And Corshey is going to have to explain that one to Pritchett. Took a sack away from him. First down as well. That's a time. There's White all alone.
Make a block, Hayward.
Look at Lorenzo pulled his way down to the 10-yard line. Jeffries making a little block downfield to help him in an 18-yard play.
You can see how many places Cody Carlson looks before he finds an open receiver. He looks right, left, pumps once, and then right in front of him is Lorenzo White. Now watch 84. Hayward Jeffries. He makes a little block. Okay. What did he get? He went up there and he went, poof. But it didn't work.
It's outside the 10-yard line. As the Oilers go for the tying score and give to Lorenzo White for nearly 5. Jamison, Corshey, and Blades on the stop.
Yeah, if you look at that defense, Wayne Font's on the sideline, but that defense, Jerry Ball is not in there, Chris Spielman's not in there, and they run the football. And the draw to Lorenzo White. Ball is an all-pro player. Spielman, the leading tackler.
He wanted to make it clear he's a team guy. He said, I don't like not playing, but hey, I'm not going to disrupt any team attitude because my feelings are hurt. There's the 2-minute timeout. 7-0 Detroit.
Miami Dolphins. With Dan Marino at the controls of one of the NFL's elite offenses, they're on a playoff mission. The New Orleans Saints, led by a dominating defense. These Saints are marching towards the postseason. Get ready for this battle on Bourbon Street between 2 interconference powers Sunday.
We're back at the Silverdome. Stay with us at halftime. Look at those faces. Bart Starr, Vince Lombardi, Don Shula. Thanksgiving Day 1962. We visited on NFL Live, Domino's Pizza NFL Live. What's Shula doing in there? You're going to find out.
I'd run here if I'm Houston.
On second down and 5, and it is White down to the 3 on him. May have fumbled. And if he did, the Lions say they've got it. Nope. You can see the referee moving in and saying the play is dead. He is down.
Play is down by contact. Third down.
Tom White, definitive in his call.
The Oilers have figured out here, you see the defense, 58 Jamison is a coverage linebacker. Jerry Ball, the nose tackle out. Chris Spielman, the leading tackler out, so they run the football.
And while he was having trouble keeping possession, clearly down before he loses the grasp. Third down and 3. Third and 3.5 for a touchdown. Touchdown. Gibbons. Oh, he's out of bounds. Off the end zone. Couldn't get both feet in there. He was open for quite some time. You could just see him nervously saying, throw it to me. And by the time it got there, he had lost his position. It was deflected. That's part of the problem.
And the field judge is standing right there. Number 37 saw the right foot out of bounds through the end zone and makes the call immediately, and it is absolutely the correct call.
But look how clever, knowing that you're hauled your body parts, he actually got that right foot back and touched it inbounds before he fell out. And now the field goal try by Al Del Greco with 1:16 remaining in the half. And again, it's been the frustration of these Oilers who have been in almost every game, lost so many close ones. They move the ball, can't get the big score.
Last play, there was illegal motion on the offense. Player moving and going in motion in the backfield with the lineman dropping into position at the same time. We will give them the choice of the penalty.
So 2 men in motion on the play, and you would think the Lions here would decline the penalty and be happy if the Oilers tried the field goal. What do you think?
The illegal motion penalty on the offense has been declined. It's 4th down.
Is that what you think?
I think I'd decline it, make it 4th down, and have them go for the field goal.
I just like the way we're getting into rhythm here, don't you? Don't you really? We head down the stretch toward the Super Bowl on NBC from Pasadena in late January. Well, Del Greco, even though this isn't much more than an extra point, a 20-yarder, you know his adrenaline's flowing. (7-3) Detroit. And a flag. And the preliminary signal from referee White is it's against the Oilers.
Oh, no. Al Del Greco saying, now I got to do this again.
You remember when he tried the 41-yarder in the first quarter, there was a penalty. Had to try from 46, hit the upright.
Holding. Number 64 offense, 10 yards. We'll replay 4th down.
And now a 10-yard penalty will make it a 30-yard attempt for Del Greco. Almost as if the demons are working against Del Greco.
Top of the screen is the man who moves. Yeah, when a kicker is not going well, you see, tries to hook the guy on the outside, kind of grabs him by the helmet, and puts his hand out there. And kickers are going tough. They don't want more chances than are absolutely necessary.
So from 30 yards with Montgomery holding. You can hear the whole Del Greco clan sigh relief down there in Houston. It's 7-3. 1:07 left for Detroit before the intermission. Remaining in this first half. Each team with only 3 possessions. The Lions getting the only touchdown. You're looking at Mike Utley, paralyzed 53 weeks ago in the game against the Los Angeles Rams. And Bob Costas will be talking with Mike Utley at halftime on the Domino's Pizza halftime report, as well as a look at that 1962 game. For those of you old enough, on that Thanksgiving, the Packers seemed unbeatable with Bart Starr Lombardi building that tremendous force at Green Bay, and the Lions with the incredible pass rush. Harris McCord, Alex Harris, and Don Shula was part of that story. Short kick taken by Troy Stratford and flagged down as Stratford finds a little slice of daylight along that far sidelines, gets to the 37. Spencer Tillman makes the tackle. Now let's check the flag.
Boy, you see the respect they're paying to Mr. Gray. They don't want him to have the ball at all. They'll sacrifice 10, 15, 20 yards, get it to an up back.
Mel Gray, what a return man he is. He has a touchdown both on a punt and a kickoff return this year.
You know, Dick, I have to tell you, you hear coaches talk about the special teams being a third of the game, and you've got to emphasize them. If you look at teams who really don't emphasize the special teams, as we hear the call here.
Illegal block during the return, 10 yards, still 1st down.
As I was going to say, when you have good special teams and special teams players like Ray, they might win you 2 or 3 games, keep you close in a couple others. 5 or 6 games a year, you'll have an effect. This is Frank Enns, the special teams coach. When you don't pay a lot of attention to the special teams, I guarantee you'll lose 5 or 6 games. Guaranteed you'll lose 5 or 6 games because of the lack of attention to special teams.
Well, there's a former head coach of Kansas City who was in charge of special teams. Marv Levy was a special teams man to George Allen, now the head man at Buffalo. Barry Sanders twisting out to the 20-yard line.
Rick, did you see him run through Ray Childress's arm? I mean, Ray Childress is an all-pro performer. And when Barry Sanders broke to the outside, he went right through. Watch 79. When he comes out here, you'll see him run right. Barry Sanders run right through 79's left arm. Look at that. You need both arms on this guy wrapped around him to get him down.
40 yards for Sanders, but as you look at Childress, only a 2.7 average. So the Oiler defense has done a good job of protecting against the long game. Fans unhappy with the fact that Wayne Fonts is running the football, running out the clock here with Sanders who gets another yard. Fans not happy, but the Lions are content with a halftime lead of 7-3. Lorenzo White and the Oilers a couple of chances to score, missed one field goal and connected from 30 yards. Mike Utley, a day when this tough former Lion has had his moment to take a bow, finally back in Detroit, and we'll hear what he has to say about it when we return.
I care about.
Lions lead the Oilers at the half in the Silverdome, 7-3. Coming up a bit later during the halftime show, we'll talk live with Mike Utley. We're miking him up right now along the sideline at the Silverdome. In the meantime, this year marks the 30th anniversary of a very memorable Thanksgiving Day game. Detroit hosting Green Bay. The Packers were the defending NFL champions, and they were 10-0 entering the game. The Lions were a very solid team at 8-2, but few thought that they could beat the mighty Packers.
Green Bay had future Hall of Famers almost at every position. Oh, they had an excellent football team. No question. They had great depth.
We were the bridesmaids for many, many years against the Packers.
The Packers were a cocky bunch of players because they had won the championship in '60, and we just didn't like them.
Yeah, I hated the guys, and because they were number one all the time, and here we were going number two.
The setting was Tiger Stadium in Detroit. The Lions turned in one of the great defensive performances in NFL history. They sacked Bart Starr 11 times and thoroughly dominated the Packer offense. The architect of the Lion defense was a 32-year-old assistant under head coach George Wilson, an assistant named Don Shula.
It was one of the great defensive games that I've ever been around. And we dominated that game from beginning to end. It was a game where we blitzed a lot, and Green Bay never got their great offense on track. Roger Brown and Alex Karras just were tired of hearing about the Green Bay Packers and Jerry Kramer and Fuzzy Thurston and blocking them and everything. And I can remember one time when Roger picked up Fuzzy Thurston and threw him back and knocked him into Bart Starr, and Karras just went through them like they weren't there that day.
I felt like in a dream sequence, a wonderful movie dream sequence where you're floating around doing the right things, and that's basically what that football game was all about. They shouldn't have even showed up that day. It was terrible. Alex Karras was a story in itself every game, and Alex, after we sacked him maybe 10 times, he was saying, let's step on toes, let's break some legs.
Knowing Vince Lombardi, he was really upset with his offensive line because they got killed that day.
I really remember saying to our equipment man, Friday Macklin, when I came off the field, I said, Friday, you don't have to send my uniform out, because I literally had not been on the ground.
Our fans were so excited about our defense, and our defense was playing so well, that they actually booed our offense when it went on the field. They wanted to see the offense go 3 and out, if you can believe this, and then have our defense go back out onto the field and play the exciting football that we were playing against Green Bay's offense.
Of course, the next year, Shula started as the head coach of the Baltimore Colts. That was the only loss for the Packers that year. They were 13-1. Lions finished 11-3, no wild card teams in the playoffs then. They stayed home, and the Packers beat the Giants for the title.
The irony, Bob, is if you had to pick maybe the best offensive line of all time, you might have said that Packers team had it. But 3 years later, in Green Bay, Detroit did it to them again in 1965, 11 sacks in a game. Both times there were records for the league.
Okay, let's now turn the clock ahead 30 years to this afternoon and get the thoughts of O.J. Simpson on today's matchup in Pontiac with the Lions leading 7-3. Juice?
You know, Bob Trumpy said in the first half that to run and shoot, you got to be able to audibilize at the line of scrimmage. I asked Warren Moon right before the half what was going on. He said, we're not getting the ball to our wide receivers downfield. They're running a lot of tricks at us, and they're playing more man-to-man against us than any team has ever done. They normally play us with an umbrella zone. Cody Carlson is going to have to recognize it, find the wide receivers. Guys are getting open, get the ball to them. Dave Levy, the assistant head coach of the Lions, said it's a perfect first half for us, Juice. We didn't turn the ball over. We kept our defense off the field, and if we get the ball to number 20 enough, he's going to make something happen. So the Lions are happy. The Oilers have to get the ball to their wide receivers. Back to you, Bob.
O.J., thanks a lot. Check with you a bit later. Now, after these messages from your local stations, we'll be back to talk things over with Mike Utley, who is standing by at the Silverdome. That's after a station break. Stay with us.
This is the Domino's Pizza NFL Live Halftime Report, brought to you by Domino's. Nobody knows like Domino's how you like pizza at home.
Lions lead at the half over the Oilers 7-3. Honorary captain for Detroit today, their one-time guard, Mike Utley. Mike is standing by at the Silverdome. Give us a sense, first, Mike, of what this has been like for you personally, coming into the Silverdome, going out to midfield for the toss of the coin. What's it been like for you?
Tell you what, it's been a hell of an honor, especially when Chris Pillman, Lomas Brown asked me to come out and wear my own jersey one more time. These guys mean a lot to me, and it's something to come back to see people here in Detroit the way they, you know, when they came out there, everybody right to their feet, and it's been a hell of an honor. That's all I can say.
Do you have a sense of how people have responded to your story, not just the people in the stadium today, but around the country?
It's great just because everybody here and in the rest of the country has been stood by me as I stand by, you know, what I believe is myself. I'm going to walk again. I just want to make sure I say thank you for NBC Sports and you Bob, and Francine, Lisa, and especially Gail Gardner for a hell of a job she did to that story this morning. I just want to say thank you for people in Detroit and everybody else for standing by me. Thank you so very much.
What did Wayne Fonts say to you, if it isn't too personal for you to relate that to us? This has been a difficult year for him. The death of his brother Lenny, and of course the death of Eric Andelsek, another Lions offensive lineman, plus your situation, and we could see that he was shedding tears on the sideline during the national anthem.
Basically what he said to me when I came off the field, he goes, this one's going to be for you, guy. We got to do it for you. And he said that. That's what he believes, and that's what I believe. You know, all the work I do, Coach Fonts has been great. He stood by me and everything else, and now he gave me the opportunity to come out here as a coach to a player. He's telling me to hang tough, and that's what I'm going to do.
David Rocker of the Rams was the player who was involved in the contact with you. There was nothing even remotely illegal about that contact. It was just something that happened in the course of a game. No one blames him even a little bit. Ironically, it turned out to be his first NFL game, and he has had to go for some counseling because of his feelings in the aftermath. I know that you haven't spoken with him yet. He says at some point he would like to speak with you. What would you like to say to him, if anything?
Well, you know, no one knows what's going to hold down the future for me, and it's something right now I'm just going to take day by day, and I'm just out here right now rooting on the Lions because that's where that's my team, and this is the guys I want to play for. So whatever happens down the road, I don't know. So I'm just taking day by day.
We know what's in your immediate future, Mike. Stick around. We'll talk with you again on the postgame, if that's all right with you.
You bet. I'd love to do it. Thanks, Bob.
Okay, Mike Utley, folks. Stay tuned. Right now, we'll send it back to Dick Enberg and Bob Trumpy for the call of the second half in just a moment, with the Lions leading it 7-3, and we'll see you after the game.
We welcome you back to the Silverdome, where the Lions have a slender 7-3 lead after a very quickly paced first half. Only 4 possessions for the Lions, 3 for the Oilers. And here's the Coors Light halftime statistics. Anything jump out at you there, Robert?
Yeah, most I think of Detroit's 92 yards came in their one drive to score. So other than that 8+ minute drive, Dick, the Detroit Lions offense has sputtered badly. Houston has gotten a little bit together, and I think they've also recognized that there are situations when Spielman and Ball are out of the game. That's when they'll run. When they're in the game, that's when they'll throw.
But it's a recurring theme for the Oilers. They move the ball, but they don't get many points for doing it. A little postscript on Mike Utley, and it tells you more about the man, the player that his teammates adore. They said that every summer camp, there's always a fight, many fights in training camp. He would always create the first one, and most teams have a guy like that.
Yes, and Dick, the strange thing is, most teams that have that guy, that's a defensive player. It's very unusual to have an offensive lineman who is always stirring things up, but what a champion of spirit this young man is. Even with his problem, it's not going to let him get him down. He's going to live the fullest life he possibly can in his circumstance.
The Oilers get the ball first in the second half, and out to the 30-yard line. And a little push and shove there after the tackle made. Cody Carlson getting a final word from the brain trust along the sidelines.
Kevin Gilbride, every week you saw him standing there talking with Cody Carlson. Every week now he has to defend the run and shoot, and it looks like teams are beginning to attack the protection of the run and shoot and trying to bang on the receivers.
I was interested in his reaction to your question. Have you missed Drew Hill and Tony Jones? Both of whom went to Atlanta, Plan B.
He hasn't answered it yet, but it spoke volumes.
Yes. Lorenzo White starts with a 6-yard gain as he is finally dragged down by Kelvin Pritchett.
To expand on that a little bit, when I asked Kevin Gilbride about the loss of Drew Hill, his replacement is Webster Slaughter. The inside receiver, the slot receiver in the run and shoot, they are the receivers that have to do the bulk of the adjusting. And Slaughter, when he came out of Cleveland, was only a wideout, ran the sideline a lot. It is very crowded inside when you play the slot receiver in the run and shoot. It's been a big adjustment for Webster.
A very frustrating run. He's a very proud man, and he just hasn't been able to produce the way he thought he could. Down the sidelines and out of bounds. A flag is down as they try to find Haywood Jeffries. Good coverage from Sheldon White.
Offsides, number 90 defense, lined up in the neutral zone, 5 yards, first down.
So with that, a first down. They needed only 4. And here comes a 324-pound Jerry Ball, the Lions Pro Bowler, last year injured late. What he felt was an illegal block, tore up a knee. He says he isn't any heavier. And you just don't see much about me because I'm always occupying 2 men. I can't get the sacks, and that's where you get the notoriety. Ernest Gibbons, and he's out of bounds with another first down out at the 40-yard line. Well, Gibbons, many felt he wouldn't play today, and he has made the biggest plays for the Oilers.
Got a nice assist from the official there, too. That's when Ernest Gibbons catches this ball. He's crossing underneath. See the official knock off the coverage man? And that turns Ernest Gibbons absolutely loose. He had a catch for 41 yards in the first half, and now this one
for 20. 7-3, the Lions lead. The Oilers have moved into scoring territory on each possession. They have only 3. Now a triple right. And it's intercepted off the deflection. Ray Crockett has his 3rd of the year. Went off Curtis Duncan's fingertips.
Again, thrown a little bit high, Dick, but should have been caught. Watch how much time Carlson takes here. You see a defensive end drop out Spindler, 92. Another attempt by defensive coordinators drop defensive linemen into coverage and rush guys off the corner to get to the quarterback.
Lions stop the Oilers on the interception. They have it at the 31.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Miller Genuine Draft Light, the cold filtered light with smooth draft taste, GD Light. By Callaway Golf, makers of Big Bertha, the world's friendliest drivers in fairway woods. By Norelco patented lift and cut shavers, we make lows comfortable. And by Pontiac and your nearby Pontiac dealers, we are driving excitement.
Lions taking over after the interception, and Barry Sanders hit in the backfield by Jeff Alm, and then Ray Childress secures the stop.
Crockett comes up with the ball, but watch the defense. This guy's going to rush. This is a defensive end. Engage the tackle, drop perfectly in coverage so that Carlson has to throw the ball slightly high to Duncan, the outside receiver. Hands up by Spindler. Defensive end. That's another way they're defensing the run and shoot.
And those inside linemen making contact and drifting back into the short zones. And boy, did Spindler, he moved as if he knew exactly where the pass was going. No gain for Sanders on first down. He's now 17 carries, 40 yards. The tight end, Jimmy Johnson. What's happening here? A completed pass to the tight end.
It's a mistake. It's a mistake.
Eddie Robinson makes the tackle. A very short game. Johnson, who played with the Redskins and has his Super Bowl ring, played in only 6 games last year in their Super Bowl season. And as the Lion said, he's young, and yet he's got that special something that comes with being with a great football team.
Yeah, that kind of spreads around. When you win the Super Bowl, you'd be surprised how your career seems to be extended year after year after year.
4th down and 9. Well, Kramer too tall for Willie Green. Green without a catch yet today. Jerry Gray, the cover man.
There's a flag down, Dick, and I'm telling you, the Houston Oilers are putting now 8 guys to the line of scrimmage to stop Barry Sanders.
67 offense. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
Dallapour declined his penalty.
Count in there. It's very simple to understand why those little passes out in the flat are so important. 8 guys, all there to stop Barry Sanders. So Rodney Peete, would he get a chance here?
Well, that was the word of Ron Johnson. We see Arnold about to punt, but if Eric Kramer did not produce, that Rodney Peete could be expected to play. Arnold drives the spiral. Slaughter picks up some blockers.
Got a chance.
And he's to the 37-yard line. Good open field tackle to save. A possible long gainer by George Jameson, a starter on defense, playing on special teams. That's why they're good.
Yo, I'd like to wish a happy Thanksgiving to my family back home in Stockton, California. I know you're watching. I know you're eating that turkey and that ham right now. I wish I could be there with you, but hopefully I'll be there sometime after January. Peace.
I presume he means late January.
Late January.
And that's been part of the pressure this Houston Oilers team, Bob, is that the start of the year with all those Pro Bowlers and a fine year last year, and they figured, hey, this year we're going to be a serious threat to make it to the Super Bowl. Now here they are staggering at 6-5, and the frustration levels are very high. Down the middle. That one's not too tall, and Slaughter pulls it down. A first down at the 38-yard line. William White makes the tackle, so Webster Slaughter right on cue.
You mentioned their expectations in the slot. He runs behind the underneath coverage, runs the crossing pattern. You put it well, Dick, when this season started. The Houston Oilers were talking home field advantage throughout the playoffs. And now they're tied with the San Diego Chargers at 6-5. Who would have expected that at the beginning of the 1992 season?
Slaughter now 4 catches, 60 yards. And this one too long for Haywood Jeffries. But here again, the Oilers moving the ball into scoring range, but thus far have but 3 points.
What did Ray Childress tell us last night we were talking to him? He said frustration. He said, yeah, we allow everybody to stay in the game until the very end.
And then we either win or lose. Like last week, or 2 weeks ago in Minnesota, he said we had to score in the final minutes. Carlson replacing the injured Warren Moon. He said that's nice to win, but that's even when we win, it's right down to the final ticks.
Yep. Just can't put people away this year.
Second down from the 38 of Detroit. Screen to White. He's got 2 men in front of him. And finally, good hustle from behind as Tracy Scroggins, the rookie from Tulsa, able to drag down White after 19 yards. And young Kevin Donnelly playing at left tackle throws a good block on the screen.
And Jamison is in there 58 without Spielman. You see an excellent job done by this offensive line of the Houston Oilers. Bruce Matthews out front. Donnelly does the job, and Scroggins runs that down. He's in there because of his 4.6 speed. A lot of ways you can use that super back, as they call in the run and shoot, draws, traps, and screens.
He's a home guy, Lorenzo White. He wears out those air paths between Houston and Fort Lauderdale. He gets the ball again. Short yardage this time, well covered by Benny Blades, who filled the hole from his safety position. And Blades and Lorenzo White, as we said earlier, were a natural geographic location and attraction.
Yeah, they're two magnets. They have hit each other a lot. But see, when the Detroit Lions take out Chris Spielman, they expect Benny Blades to kind of move up and be part linebacker. Now, Blades is 220, but there's the leading tackler of the Detroit Lions on the sideline.
And the emotional leader of perhaps the entire team. Second down, 7. And it is Slaughter again. Melvin Jenkins makes the stop at the 10-yard line, a yard short of the first down. 5 catches for Webster Slaughter, having perhaps his best game in that Oiler uniform.
Drive started at the 31. They've been very good here. Carlson, excellent job. Follows through on that one, Dick. You could see him almost overemphasize the follow through to get that thing right on the numbers.
So from the 10, 3rd and 1. Webster Slaughter again, and it's off his fingertips. Kevin Scott covering. He seemed to have a step on him. A flag is down, and they may have hit Carlson late. The flag is back where Cody Carlson threw the ball.
Oilers don't look happy here, Dick.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Chop block on the offense. 15 yards. Full 3rd down.
See if we can pick out what happens here. You see Donnelly engaged the defensive end. Once he's engaged, Lorenzo White, the new rule, cannot then block it. And that's a major penalty. And Lorenzo White knows better.
It wasn't flagrant, but that just once one is engaged, you can't hit him low. A second man. Up for grabs, and the Lions get it. Melvin Jenkins. Tracy Scroggins, 59, hit Carlson. The ball flopped in the air, and Jenkins gets his 4th interception of the year.
Dick, this game now for the Houston Oilers is becoming redundant. Pressure from the outside, as you mentioned, and then Jenkins does a great job of going to the ball through Ernest Givens for the Detroit Lions' 2nd interception of the day.
Both in fairly deep Lions territory.
Just because.
Now Cody Carlson, blindsided by Scroggins, intercepted by Jenkins. Lions again take over by way of the interception at their 28. Sanders has been quiet the last quarter and a half. That's his 11th carry, and he's gained only 10 yards. Let's go back to the interception.
Yeah, and we're going to have to point a finger here. It's the young man Donnelly, top of the screen. Scroggins was a big pass rusher for Tulsa, just a speed rusher. Donnelly making his first start. Scroggins just runs right around him. Carlson does not see him. And then the momentum of Crockett gets him to the ball before Webster Slaughter, and the pick.
Melvin Jenkins' 4th interception to lead the Lions. He's half the total of the NFL leader, Buffalo's Henry Jones, with 8. There's the demise of Sanders and the Detroit running game.
Still showing 8 at the line of scrimmage to defend against him.
Kramer going for Willie Green, who headed upfield. Jerry Gray on the coverage. Flag down.
Now, in defense of Eric Kramer here, he's getting some pressure. Houston doing a good job of pressuring inside and outside on Eric Kramer, but he's not throwing the ball very well.
48 offense on a pull down, 10 yards, still second down.
Mike Hinnant, H-back, number 48. There's Rodney Peete. He said this is tough for him. He said, I've never sat on the sideline since I was a red shirt at Southern Cal as a freshman when I was healthy. I've been hurt and I've had to watch, but now I'm healthy. I want to play.
And Rodney Peete, Eric Kramer, best of friends. They don't fight amongst each other. They do their best they can under this circumstances, but I think Pete's going to see some action here shortly.
After the penalty, 2nd and 17. And the fumble. And it's Bubba McDowell, and picked up by William Fuller for a touchdown. Bubba McDowell, the safety man, slipping in to just steal it right out of the hands of Eric Kramer, and then William Fuller into the end zone with a touchdown.
Watch Bubba right there. See, they're outnumbered. The Detroit team is outnumbered. Barry Sanders has got to pick up McDowell. McDowell runs around him. An easy pickup for William Fuller. And the Houston Oilers take the lead in this football game.
10 yards on the rumble by Fuller.
Kramer has no idea what's going on, but he should have recognized before the ball was snapped there were 10 guys at the line of scrimmage. There has to be in the Detroit offense under Dan Henning an audible for that. He can't sit back there, take 5 steps, and expect to have a chance to throw.
Oh, he smiled in posing for these Thanksgiving photographs as if he knew something good was going to happen. The cat canary look. And that's exactly what happened to Kramer. And the Oilers score on defense to take the lead.
Turbulence in Chicago as winds of change swirl. Mike Ditka's the eye of the storm. OJ has the story of this blustering bear. Sunday.
Dick, here's the look before the snap. Eric Kramer should recognize this. Everyone coming. McDowell is the guy who gets there. But you'll see when he drops back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-step drop. There has to be an audible. He should have called it. Barry Sanders missed the block, but the quarterback has got to put the offense in the right spot. That's a 3-step drop. Get it away. Avoid the blitz, the turnover, in the touchdown situation.
Fuller's first touchdown. This will be a Thanksgiving he'll remember. 10 yards on the run after the fumble. This one coming down to Mel Gray at the 11. Oh, what a move. Didn't get much. Tackled at the 17-yard line by Gary Brown. And the Lions now down for the first time of the game, 10-7. Sunday on NBC Sports. Here's our lineup. And one of the big games, Miami and New Orleans, both clubs 8-3. Kansas City takes its 7-4 record to New York against the Jets. Pittsburgh atop the Central at 8-3 meets rival Cincinnati, New England, and Atlanta. In the 4 o'clock game, Buffalo with the best record in the AFC, 9-2. Will play at the Hoosier Dome. That's all Sunday beginning at 12:30 NFL Live.
Watch that New Orleans defense. Watch that New Orleans defense.
They something? They must have had 15 men on the field on defense. They had 3 men on every tackle, and they never called it. Barry Sanders finally gets a little working room and out across the 20. A gain of 5 or 6. Al Smith, Ray Childress make the tackle. Let's look at the Lions and what they've done with each possession today. Their touchdown coming on the second possession, and they were helped along the way by several Oiler penalties.
And that was an 8+ minute drive that featured Barry Sanders a whole bunch. I think if you're Dan Henning and Wayne Fonts, let's get back to the franchise, and that's Barry Sanders.
Yeah, but that's what the Oilers are thinking, and they're daring him to throw because they're going to keep those 7 men right up on the line of scrimmage to deny Sanders. Kramer goes the other way. Herman Moore! And Moore will score! .77 yards, and what an effort by Kramer. He wanted to go left. He was in trouble. The quick spin move, the judgment, and a perfect throw to Moore.
Dick, the backside of this pattern is to Moore. You see him pump, and I think Chris Dishman, 28, relaxed a little bit. Separation by Moore. Dishman can't get his head around. The ball actually goes through Dishman's hands. Great concentration by Moore. He's out there playing with a turf toe and a bad shoulder. 77 yards, lightning.
Longest touchdown of his 2-year career, the #1 pick of the Lions a season ago. Now Hansen strive for point. And the Lions reclaim the lead, 14-10.
Well, if you're a defensive player, you can never lose your concentration. Top of the screen, hitch, and then see the play completely breaks down. Dishman makes contact. Great concentration here by Moore. Didn't catch it as much as he just kind of cradled it, and he runs it, he walks it into the end zone.
That looked like you coming home the other night. He's a terrific target at 6'3", Herman Moore. He gets a 77-yard touchdown, 14-10 Lions. Pat Coleman at the 6 for Houston. Drives out to the 30-yard line, and Sunday we hope you'll tune in at 12:30 NFL Live. Well, the Chicago Bears, boy, you make news when your name is Mike Ditka. When you're winning and when you're losing, it's been a tough year. Ditka's Bears are 4 games behind the division leading Minnesota Vikings and O.J. Simpson. We took votes, and we decided let's send our toughest guy, our most courageous guy to Chicago and talk with Iron Mike. And that'll be a part of NFL Sunday at 12:30.
Yeah.
I'm just pleased that O.J. looks fine today.
The bruises have
I like Ditka.
disappeared.
I like Ditka.
So do I.
I'd like to play for him. He could chew me out. He's a leader.
Yep.
Deflected, and Duncan catches it anyway. A man who grew up watching the Detroit Lions, a product of the city of Detroit, Curtis Duncan with his first catch. Ray Crockett with a tackle at the 46-yard line.
Oh, look at here. They come with a full blitz. 7 guys coming after the quarterback. Just gets his hand on it slightly. Widget. This is great concentration by Duncan. Excellent release. Turned Crockett around. That ball's floating. Duncan catches it.
59 catches for Duncan, and he doesn't have a touchdown this year, and he's had almost, well, this is his 21st game, almost 100 catches, none for a touchdown. That's hard to do. Lorenzo White to the 49 of Detroit, nearly 5 yards. Robert Forshea and Dan Owens collaborate on this side.
And you know, that catch by Duncan was impressive. I wonder if his wife Meredith has taken time away from her studies today. She's trying to graduate from law school to watch hubby play here in Detroit.
Oh, I think so. And Duncan, who went to Northwestern, academics being his pursuit. And look at those fine numbers. In his 6th year, he enjoys reading poetry as well. 2nd down and 6. And the Lions offside. This is a 3 down for Carlson, so he's going to go long with it. Jeffries double teamed. The Lions apparently offside. Pritchett, one of the 2 Detroiters, to jump the gun. Well, the Thanksgiving wave has begun.
Number 89 defense, 5 yards.
I think you've got your choice here. 94 goes first, and then others. And you're right, Carlson had a free play. Actually, the open receiver was Gibbons down the middle. He went to the outside.
Wayne Fonts Lions leading 14-10 thanks to a 77-yard strike from Eric Kramer to Herman Moore. 4 minutes, 20 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Scroggins gets him again. His third sack of the season, but earlier forced the interception that stopped the Houston drive with a similar play.
Same kind of pass rush, too. He's just too quick for Donnelly off the line of scrimmage. He's got that real speed. Once he engages, Donnelly engages, and he just can't push him by. Carlson, when he flushes, at least he hangs onto the football.
Yeah, Donnelly got him out in the backyard, but Scroggins just climbed up the back porch and went through the screen door. Third and 7. Now he's got lots of time. But no one open. The Lions defense is held. And Scroggins with another tackle. Oh, he's terrorizing Cody Carlson.
And you know, he's kind of pressed in the service here. Their best pass rusher has been Michael Kofer, out for the season with knee surgery. They didn't want to rush this kid in here, but he's done an excellent job. He was a pure pass rusher at Tulsa. He certainly accounted himself very well today.
Greg Montgomery, who has the second best average in the league at 46.1, but his net is only 35.9. His second punt. And this one's going to go in the end zone. So that'll look good in the statistics, 51 yards, but it's only a net of 31 as the Lions will have the ball at the 20 when we return. 2:50 left in the third quarter.
Dick, as you watch this sack again, the best thing about Scroggins here is that's not the sack that we just saw. That was a play where he was cut inside.
Went back and got the tackle out and got the sack after all. So he's got 2 today. You think that Holovac, who is a former NFL player, NFL head coach, assistant coach, now the general manager, he plays every down. There's Michael Kofer, just happened to be right by our camera there.
That looks like a movie audition. This guy's got another career ahead of him.
Delivered by Rodan. Oh, what a terrific pass rusher, defensive player Kofer is.
Yes, has been for a long time, too. In fact, Wayne Fonts and Woody Woodenhofer were very concerned without him in the lineup. Would they be able to put pressure? Well, Scroggins certainly has today.
Sacked so much a part of this game, and Clyde Simmons of the Eagles leads at the Thanksgiving break with 14. Chris Bowman, Minnesota 12. Derek Thomas and Ricky Jackson 11.5. Sanders, little room this time. Good backside support, so they wouldn't give him the outside. Headed him back inside, and then Sean Jones, trailing the play, makes the stop.
And again, Al Smith, you see him come into the picture as the run comes right at you. It gives him no place to run. When he starts to hesitate, you can see 54. There he is right there, Al Smith, middle linebacker. I love this guy as a player. Love this guy as a player.
Pro bowler.
But when I look at a middle linebacker, you need a name like Lucci, Bonacani, Tommy Nobis, Dick Butkus, Al Smith,
Joe Schmidt, Steve Stoneberg.
Yeah. Al Smith can play.
Well, let's make up a nickname. Then he needs a nickname. Whoops. Jeff Holm in on the quarterback as
take your choice here.
When the whole defense goes, it usually means the offense.
Yeah. Take your choice.
False start. Number 12. 5 yards. Still second down.
Well, I know you've been thinking about Al Smith as we watch the quarterback pullback, and there's no look at the poor center, yeah. Blake Miller, trying to reach as far as he can. Watch after Kramer pulls away. Oh, take it.
That's so embarrassing. I mean, the quarterback is the guy who says, last thing he says is, it's on 2, ready, break. And then he goes up there and expects it on 1.
Second and 12. The Lions leading 14-10 late in the third. Kramer into the flat, and Perriman hit immediately. It's a gain of a yard or 2.
Well, this is slipping away here now for Detroit, and they've yet to make the adjustment of all those guys at the line of scrimmage.
Marcus Robertson, the tackler. So I know you're thinking about Al Smith. You're going to give him a nickname before that. I want a nickname for Al Smith before the day is through.
Actually, wait a minute. Now, I know Al. I want a nickname of his approval. I don't want to just sneak a name in on Al Smith and he catch me sometime at a practice later on in the season.
That's a tough one.
Al Smith. Atomic Al Smith.
That's a set. On the scramble. Slides at the 30-yard line. That's going to be very close to a first down. And what a good spot on the slide. Normally the ball way back, because with a slide you're carrying the ball up around your shoulders and not down where you'd be diving straight forward. That's a great spot.
And Dick, to protect quarterbacks, they put this feet first slide in. Now, as I understand the rule, where he starts the slide is where the ball is supposed to be marked.
Where the ball is when he starts the slide. No,
now watch where he starts. Right on the line. Well, they give him about a half a yard.
And that's good enough for the first down. He needed to get beyond the 30.
Kramer, not a particularly good runner, but runs here out of sheer necessity.
Complete to Mike Farr, or is it? Yes, they call it a catch at the 39-yard line. Farr, part of the Detroit Thanksgiving tradition as he carries on. His dad, number 24 with the Lions, a running back. Oops.
Oh.
The old days, that one wouldn't have counted. That is the end of the third quarter. Thank goodness no time for rebuttal for my partner. We'll be back. 14-10 Detroit.
You cheat.
Happy Thanksgiving from NBC Sports, and thank you for joining us on this holiday. The Oilers and the Lions, Detroit leading 14-10, going for their 4th consecutive win on this holiday. And they have the ball at their own 39-yard line, 2nd and 1, with a 14-10 lead as we open the 4th quarter. Dick Enberg with Bob Trumpy. Eric Kramer grew up in L.A. His idol, Roman Gabriel, with the Los Angeles Rams, went on to North Carolina State. So didn't realize when he got there that was Gabriel's alma mater as well. Contact before the snap as Jeff Alm, number 76, charging through.
I think that's obviously going to be on the defense. No question about that. You know, in several of the little shots I've seen before we go on, there's a Thanksgiving table.
Encroachment, number 76 defense, 5 yards. That's a first down.
First down out at the 45-yard line.
There's a picture of a Thanksgiving table. There's some glasses, and I also see a carafe of wine. What wine would you suggest today with dinner?
I think if you're buying that, it's a nice 82 Bordeaux, maybe a Lafite or Mouton. I'd be very pleased if you could.
Very pleased?
Very pleased.
I'm going to be busy here for a little while, but I'll try to get it for you before you leave.
I don't think you're going to find it around here. Not immediately. Oh, with the penalty first down, Kramer goes to work, and his shot is caught and then stolen away, intercepted. Green got it, and then Jerry Gray, the veteran, took it away on the bobble. Jerry Gray with his 3rd of the season. That leads the Oilers. In fact, Gray with 2 interceptions led Houston coming in. They've just not pilfered many.
He does recover very well here. If Green catches the ball cleanly, it's no play. Jerry Gray, the veteran, does take it away. And Houston has another opportunity. Very heads-up play.
The Oilers last year had 38 turnovers, 5th in the league. But coming into this game had only 9 interceptions and 8 fumbles in 11 games. They just aren't getting the breaks, and yet, as Jack Pardee said, the ball's been there. It's been on the ground. There have been chances for interceptions. But today, 2 interceptions, and now trailing by 4. They stop the Lions and have it at the 39-yard line.
And in the case of Jerry Gray, he's been taking some real heat down in Houston. He's given up some big plays. Last week, bought on a fake that was a very poor fake that resulted in a
Fred Banks touchdown.
Go-ahead touchdown.
Boy, but that Marino, I mean, to have those eyes, this vision of the field, to be able to pick that out. Let's see. This has been normal routine for me this year. I'll take the Lafitte, 82 Lafitte. Now, where's yours?
The turkey is my job. I cook.
You don't.
Absolutely. My wife only allows me to cook one day a year. Not because she doesn't like what I cook, it's because the mess I make.
Now, I used to cook. I used to cook with the breast down to keep all those juices in the white meat. You do that?
No, Dick. I'm an expert when it comes to cooking turkey. They have bred the turkeys to the point where you can't mess it up. If you can get it out of the wrapper and into the oven, it'll come out perfect.
It's all in the breeding, you say?
Absolutely.
I don't think the mothers and grandmothers that have pleased me and my aunt would like to hear that. They always said that they did.
Yeah, but back then, I agree. It took a mother or a grandmother to cook a great turkey. It did. Nowadays, you put them in brown bags, you put them in plastic bags, upside down, the breast down, it all comes out delicious.
I don't know if that sign's directed at Houston or us. First down. 14:50 left in the game, and White trapped at the line of scrimmage by Dan Owens.
Well, that is a big play by Dan Owens, because the middle linebacker, George Jamison, was blocked and blocked well. You'll see Matthews come out here and watch. Oh, man, I'm telling you, if Owens doesn't make that tackle, Lorenzo White is still running.
They were going right at Scroggins, too, figuring they could push him outside, run inside.
Watch the block center on Jamison. Look at the room that Lorenzo. Oh, what a key tackle.
Well, that Matthews put on a block. No wonder he's regarded as perhaps the top center in the NFL. Wide open again, and it's White on the screen. So the 49 of Detroit, that's a first down. Denny Blades and Sheldon White with a tackle, 13 yards. Lorenzo White not only rushing for almost 900 so far this year, but he's approaching 40 catches on the season. He has 39 with this one.
He does a great job of faking the defense and then watch him wait for the blocks. A lot of running backs get impatient. Lorenzo White has always been a very patient runner. Let the offensive linemen do their job.
58 yards on receptions, 49 rushing today. Underneath, Haywood Jeffries, 46-yard line where Melvin Jenkins makes the tackle. There was an interesting feature. I'm sure you enjoyed it on NFL Live today on Jeffries, honoring his teacher at Greensboro, Page High School, a family of 17 children. He was number 16. Handsome guy and thoughtful man.
Well, how would you like to stumble into their house on Thanksgiving? If I could pick a house in the country to go to, that would be the one.
I bet they're watching right now. And a happy Thanksgiving to that Jeffries family. Second down and 6. Carlson drills it. Is that a catch? It appears to be by Ernest Gibbons. No, a trap is the call.
The umpire comes all the way from the line of scrimmage to look at it. I thought he caught it.
Gibbons isn't arguing.
Watch the umpire. He's going to turn around. You see him at the bottom of the screen. Boy, that's a tough call. The umpire runs up there immediately and says, no catch. See if this looks any better.
And now there's going to be a conference.
What'd you say?
That looked as if that might have slipped through and touched the ground as he was making the catch.
And in a previous life,
rolling on the field is a completed pass. First down.
We don't need equipment to tell us what we see with our real eyes.
I've been telling you that all along.
You can't have it both ways now.
All right, a first down is the call at the 25-yard line. Well, it's consistent. The line play over the middle looked much the same and was ruled a catch.
Agreed.
The field goal won't do it for Houston. They trail 14-10. 12 minutes to go. Cody Carlson. To Webster Slaughter. Jenkins rides him down at the 20. A gain of 6.
Slaughter is catching on to this offense. He is doing an awful lot of things here that we used to see Drew Hill do. So he comes in motion, hesitates a little bit, breaks back outside, delay outside. This is a tough offense to learn week to week because it's just game plan to game plan. When you're a part of the run and shoot, you need to learn it in the summer. Go through an entire camp. But he's catching on.
6 to be specific today for 71 yards. Lorenzo White barrels inside the 10-yard line. First and goal for the Houston Oilers. William White, the tackler.
Now, one of the things we mentioned earlier, what the run and shoot can do, the quarterback, one of his responsibilities is if they call a run to the right, you count number of people to the right. And if the number is correct, in other words, you got more people than they have defensively, you can just run the play that way. Sometimes there's nobody out there to make the tackle. Carlson with the great call there.
Oh, the quiet right. Lorenzo White gives them first and goal. 10:45 left in the fourth period.
They can do it again here.
They throw to him instead. And he's to the 4-yard line. White again, the tackler.
This is so simple, and there's a certain genius to this offense. And Kevin Gilbride and the players you talk to, you say, are we coming to the end of the run and shoot? And they all say, look, the only thing that stops the run and shoot are the people that are playing the run and shoot. There's been no defense that stopped us. We've stopped ourselves.
Jerry Ball and Mark Spindler come in to fortify that defensive line on second and goal from the 4. Lions did not allow a touchdown last week against the Bengals. They have not allowed the Oilers one today. Jeffries almost deflected to the Oilers' Ernest Gibbons. Jeffries with his hands on it. They certainly like to go to him down on the goal line.
They're trying to get the ball to the slant. Running inside.
That's not a good throw.
It's tipped just a little bit short, and yeah, it was thrown behind Jeffries. These 3-step drops. I don't think the ball was tipped. Oh.
That would have been a touchdown had Gibbons caught it.
Very ball coming off the field here, limping.
Third and goal. Houston is 0 for 5 on third downs today.
Oh, that's a key stat in any game.
Jeffries, he got away with a push-off on Sheldon White and used that height. How many times have Oiler opponents seen that? The tall Jeffries, a great leaper, isolated on man coverage and just out-leaping his opponent for the ball.
He did it last week for a touchdown. Same situation, short yardage at the goal line. Now, receivers have to win this contact. The hand contact was allowed by the official. Ball thrown at the perfect moment by Carlson. And the emotional Haywood Jeffries celebrates the score.
It's his 8th touchdown of the season. Jeffries, who is second in the NFL in catches coming in to Sterling Sharp for the Green Bay Packers. And with that catch, he is now tied with Sharp. Del Greco. And the Oilers have a field goal advantage, 17-14.
Responsible adults on.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Coors Light. The Silver Bullet is the right beer now. By Nintendo. Get your daily dose of fun with Game Boy. Have you had your fun today? By Cotton, the fabric of our lives. And by Black & Decker, the source of powerful gift ideas.
Baby lions don't look too menacing up here in this part of the country, do they?
What a pair of eyes. Goodness.
So the Oilers strike back with 9:44 left in the fourth period to lead 17-14 on the 4-yard pass. Carlson to Jeffries. The kickoff, Troy Stratford, former Miami Dolphin. And he is to the 27-yard line. There's a touchdown maker, Haywood Jeffries. As we told you before the game, actually in NFL Live, part of his tradition, he lost his mother before he was drafted, and after every national anthem sends a salute to the sky. And it is part of this holiday, isn't it, to remember all of those who have touched us. The Lions now playing catch-up. And it's out of bounds to Willie Green. Green and Eric Kramer were roommates in 1990 in the summer camp. Green, a long shot from Mississippi, an 8th-round pick, and Kramer, a free agent. Now, here's a guy, Kramer, who, had it not been for the strike, probably wouldn't have played professional football. He had been drafted by New Orleans in '87. They cut him, and then the strike, and he came back, played for Atlanta, was 1-2. Thought he played well enough, went to the Canadian League and drifted around, and finally found himself a spot. And the players all say he throws a great spiral every time. A tight spiral, and has the strongest arm on this team. There's one perfect spiral. Oh. But Willie Green, with whom he has an affinity, unable to pull that one in. Jerry Gray, the reason.
These Detroit receivers, as you can see, are big, very tall. Now, he is not as heavy as Moore, but again, Jerry Gray with excellent defense just pulls the arm back at the last moment. You know, you were talking about Eric Kramer. I like what he told us yesterday. He started last year in this Thanksgiving Day game. And an inauspicious beginning.
That's right.
He throws the pass, and he gets hit by William the Refrigerator Perry, and Perry just sat on him and watched the end of the play.
So it felt like a chair.
Yes. A broken chair hit that.
Kramer now 9 for 15, 143 yards. One touchdown, one interception. Another reception. This goes to Perriman, and he has a first down out at the 42-yard line. Eric Kramer of the Lions.
Normally I do this with about 3 of these. Today I'm just doing it with one. Go try this at home. Dangerous.
He has those eyes and that smile.
Yes, he did.
I bet his mom watching today had to take him to the woodshed a time or two.
Yeah, did you mention that he was Haywood Jeffries' quarterback at North Carolina State? Did I miss you saying that?
That's right. They were the connection for 2 years. No opponents on this Thanksgiving. Screen to Sanders. Good help. Yeah, good play from Steve Jackson. He got a hold of the jersey and able to twist Sanders out of bounds.
That's Sanders' first catch of the day, and he's been absent from this offense in the second half. Houston's done a great job. This is an unprotected screen. You're hoping to fool the defense. Again, there's Al Smith on one side, Jackson on the other, giving him no place to run. And Fuller is in Kramer's face.
It's his own version of a spanking from Fuller. Gain of 4. Childress trailing Sanders. You have a feeling this entire Oiler defense were sent life-size photos of number 20 saying this is the man that you must stop on Thanksgiving Day. They're just smothering every move by Sanders.
And you know, the thing that's very obvious on this defense, Dick, is that they're not really penetrating that much on the run, as much as sliding along the line, giving Barry Sanders no cutback, no chance to bounce outside, and just waiting for other people to come and make the tackle. It's worked beautifully.
But that means those cornerbacks often are isolated man coverage on those wide receivers. It's worked once for Kramer when he found Herman Moore for 77 yards. And The blitz by the Oilers produces the 3rd sack of the game, and it's Lee Williams who has 6.5 now on the year, the former San Diego Charger.
Houston's getting a little desperate here. They need the ball back, but you can see just about everybody making a move inside here to try to get to Kramer. And there's good coverage downfield. You know, you mentioned that they were man-to-man coverage. Childress flushes him. He runs into Sean Jones. I'm not sure who will get credit for the sack, but a sack it is.
So Jim Arnold to punt. Webster Slaughter at the 10. Short. And the Lions will down it around the 17-yard line before a crowd of 77,575 at the Silverdome today.
There's only one thing they're into as much as domino.
Now on NBC is brought to you by Domino's Pizza. Everyone at Domino's wishes you and your family a happy Thanksgiving. 77,575 tickets sold, over 73,000 here, including the Cedarbirds from Penn County, Michigan. And one of the kind of a tragedy, the Michigan fans for several years don't get to see Thanksgiving Day game. This is their game, and yet it's blacked out, even though this is the 2nd largest NFL stadium, and they sell 77,000 tickets, and they still can't see it. It somehow seems inherently wrong. It ought to be maybe a 10% rule. Webster Slaughter is only dropped today.
Took his eye off of it.
Benny Blades was breathing in the area.
Webster was going to try to make a big play out of a little drag pattern when all he had to do was catch it.
Blades, his brother Brian, sitting out the year with injury with the Seattle Seahawks. Lions in the 4th quarter last year, that's when they were tough. They racked up 12 wins, most in Lion history. But the 4th quarter has been destructive for Wayne Fonts this year. And they're running out of time, trailing 17-14 the Lions are. 6 minutes to go. Oilers hoping to generate a long time-consuming drive. Curtis Duncan to the 29, very close to a first down, appears to be a yard short. Another example of how the little things mean so much in the NFL. When you're clicking, you win the close ones.
They didn't lose a close game last year. I mean, by 4 points, 6 points, 7 points. They won every close game. This year, they won 6 straight to finish the season last year. They did it a lot of different ways.
Beat Dallas handily in the playoffs before succumbing to the Super Bowl champs in Washington. Lorenzo White keeps the drive alive for the Houston Oilers.
Well, Dick, when this game is over and they start examining exactly what Houston did to Detroit to win this game, it's with the run and shoot, keeping Jerry Ball and Chris Spielman out of the game.
Hold on, holding against Houston. So a break for the Lions. The penalty will make it 3rd down and 11. And that's about as animated and vociferous as you'll see Jack Pardee.
Holding. Number 73 offense. 10 yards. Still 3rd down.
David Williams.
By the way, see if we can pick up it. We think that's the holding right there. Can we pick it up? Call it on C. Yeah, there's a left hand grabbing. Well, I don't know. You let go.
But the intent was to pull him away from where the ball carrier was, and that must have aided White.
You're asking so much.
So 3rd and 11 for Cody Carlson. Screen it to Lorenzo White. And much as he might battle, he's left a yard and a half shy of a first down. Ray Crockett up from a corner to make the stop. And the Lions will get the ball back with 4:44 left. We talked about the the cloud of the year, all the disaster the Lions have had to assimilate. Even last week when they win at Cincinnati on their way to the airport, Font sees a tornado, and sure enough, they get to the airport, the sirens go off. They said, get your team down into the basement of the airport.
And Wayne Fonts was concerned, where's Barry?
Get in the basement.
Make sure he's in the basement.
Whoa, it's a great play. Montgomery hit by Blades. He couldn't even get the ball out of his hands. Blades was in there so fast.
Dick, that was not a designed punt block.
Lions have it at the 13-yard line.
Dick, this is an individual effort by Blades. Here he comes, and he just overruns the up back. This is not a punt block. See, they're all dropping off. That's just Blades taking it all by himself and making a huge play in this game for the Detroit Lions.
Boy, there are big plays and there are huge plays. And here's Blades and why he's a Pro Bowler.
I mean,
was he going to, do you think he was going to fake it? No way. So that is the third, that counts a block. That's the third time Montgomery has been blocked this year. The Lions trail by 3. Kramer escapes. Should have been intercepted in the end zone, right into the hands of Jerry Gray.
Kramer didn't even see him.
Herman Moore was playing defense for the Lions.
Oh my goodness, is he so lucky. Moore is crossing the field, and you'll see there's Jerry Gray right in front of him. Kramer never sees him. Well, you can't throw it any better. Ooh. Collective sigh of relief there by Lions fans and Eric Kramer.
3:56 left in the fourth quarter. Detroit trails by 3.
They should be holding.
Brett Perriman, and there goes the flag.
Yep. He grabbed a hold of him.
Steve Jackson
almost pulled the shirt right out of Brett Perriman's back. They're questioning whether or not it's catchable,
or is it interference or holding. It's just holding. That's 5 yards, first down. 12th Houston penalty today. 12.
Holding. Number 24 defense. 5 yards from the previous 5. That's a first down.
Dishman was out on the corner. Let's see if we can pick up what happened. Right down here is where the holding's going to take place. And Jackson falls, left hand on the jersey, slowed him down enough. It is absolutely a good call there. Right-hand side of the screen, no question about it.
And that size 44 jersey becomes size 54. The officials throw yellow flags.
Yes.
First and goal from the 8. The fans chanting, Barry, Barry. They get their wish. But again, he's strung out, and the tackle made by the man who just committed the penalty, Steve Jackson. Eddie Robinson holding his ground on the corner, the linebacker.
Houston defense again this week done an excellent job of shutting down a very good running game last week against Miami. And even though Barry Sanders in that big drive in the first half gained a lot of yards, they really made it tough on him.
Lions now deliberately executing the plays. They're figuring they're going to get at worst a field goal. They want to chew up the time so Houston won't have much room to operate at the end of this game. It's clicking down near the 3-minute mark. Second and goal from the 8.
Sanders.
Touchdown!
This is coverage linebacker 54 on Sanders. Sanders doesn't make a great move, but Al Smith all day long has been so consumed with stopping him on the run Sanders just makes the move. We'll wait for him to become the receiver, and he scores.
Sanders' second touchdown today, 51 in 4 tremendous years with the Lions. Hansen has the extra point. A big one it is. That gives the Lions a 4-point edge. Pressure on the Oilers with 2:57 to go. A flag down on the extra point.
The thing about Barry Sanders that he just casually throws the ball to the official, goes to the sideline.
The extra point is no good. Holding. 62 offense. 10 yards from the previous spot. We'll retry to try.
Blake Miller. So Hansen, who has made 11 field goals in a row, this will be a short field goal.
When it happens holding on kicks, it's always the outside guy. They're trying to hook those guys down, and you see 62 on 38 Dumas. And they got to kick it again.
This would be the equivalent of a 30-yard field goal for the extra point. The difference between a field goal lead or forcing the Oilers to score a touchdown to win. Dead center, Hansen. He's been a good acquisition, this young man, a second-round pick from Washington State, where he set an NCAA record for long field goals.
Well, Kramer knows the minute he's watching Sanders go through the line of scrimmage, he knows he's got 6 on that throw.
Hi, Super Dave Osborne here with Hager wrinkle-free cotton pants. They look great right out of the dryer with no ironing, but Hager's asked me to put them to the ultimate test. I'll wear these pants through high-pressure jets, brushes, and dryers at 3 miles per hour. Ready? Oh, we're out of time. I guess Hager will have to pay me for another commercial. Maybe not. Oh. Oh. Oh.
New Hager wrinkle-free cottons. 100% cotton, 0% wrinkles.
They're still not wrinkled.
Lenny Fontes, and he pronounces his name different than Wayne, was the defensive coach at Blades, and Blades said he taught me everything. I wonder if that was one from his departed coach. Pat Coleman. Whoa! Met by a trio of Honolulu blue and silver jerseys, and led by Willie Clay. And Harry Cohen was there too. Tonight, after the turkey, the Thanksgiving celebration, well, emphasis on fun. Your favorite comedy, starting with Out All Night, then the network premiere of Patti LaBelle's music video, All Right Now, then A Different World, Cheers, Wings, and then L.A. Law. They're all tonight on NBC.
You know, you hear coaches talk making big plays to win a game. That one by Benny Blaze. Put a star next to that.
Yeah, if that was hockey, it'd be score by Sanders, assist Blades. They both get a point in the column.
Very good.
Deflected and caught by Webster Slaughter. It's a catch at the 31-yard line. How many of those? That's a third catch on a deflection by the Oilers today.
And you know, Carlson is a tall quarterback, and he doesn't hunch when he throws. He's standing right up there tall.
And
Owens gets his hand up there. Slaughter with great concentration, pulls it to his chest for the catch. Yes.
Slaughter's 7th catch today to lead Houston. 2:18 to go. Ooh, that's a dangerous long out. And Curtis Duncan with his 3rd reception. Ray Crockett the tackle. And they didn't stop the clock. Looked as if he'd gone out of bounds. Fairly not. Up to the 2-minute timeout. So when we return, the Oilers with the ball at their 36-yard line, needing a touchdown to win. Back at the Silverdome, a reminder, our sports weekend on NBC, the full slate of NFL action on Sunday. Then on Saturday, be with us at 2:30 for the Bayou Classic. Grambling and Southern. Eddie Robinson, the all-time winningest coach, leads Grambling against Southern University. They've won like 6 in a row. They're ranked #1. That was a thrilling game last year. Hope you'll be with us 2:30 Saturday. 2nd down and 5. Wide open is Ernest Givens, and he's to the 45-yard line. 1st down with 1:50 to go. Both teams have all their timeouts left.
Well, you got the perfect offense for a hurry-up, down by 4 points situation. The run and shoot should be able to produce a lot if Cody Carlson can orchestrate it all. Taking too much time between plays here.
Triple left. Deep and open is Jeffries. And he's to the 10-yard line. Make it the 8 before they down him. Melvin Jenkins finally touches him down along with Sheldon White. And Jeffries using that tremendous leaping power to stab this one.
He was wide open. He does an excellent job on the release. Oh, the defensive back just turns him loose.
Sheldon White. And so with the timeout, 1:22 left. The Oilers 8 yards from regaining the lead. In some 40 seconds, the Oilers have driven from their 17 to a first and goal at the Detroit 8-yard line. It's 21-17 Lions. Lorenzo White, touchdown. What a fourth quarter. The only thing wrong with that score is maybe the Oilers did it too quickly.
Well, they executed this beautifully by formation. They spread the defense all over the field. Again, watch Matthews. 74 goes out of frame. He makes a big block. But they got 6 defensive backs in there, 1 linebacker. Again, without Jerry Ball and without Chris Spielman. Mont's reaction.
White wasn't touched till he got to the goal line.
No.
83-yard drive in 5 plays for the Houston Oilers. Check the time on that. It did take them 1:40 to deliver. And with 1:17 left, Detroit will have its chance to drive for a possible at least time field goal. Del Greco makes it 24-21. A reminder, the NFL Old Spice live post-game report, and they've got some interesting features for you. Warren Moon will be involved, as will Lawrence Taylor. It'll be the human side of these 2 great NFL stars on this Thanksgiving Day. I think you'll enjoy, and I believe I heard Bob Costas and Mike Utley make a date for a post-game chat as well. So stay with us.
Let's go back to the touchdown. Beautifully executed. You spread the defense by having these receivers out here, but you got to give credit to the guys up front. And here's the big block. Again, this is Jamison, George Jamison, not Chris Spielman. And it's beautifully executed up front, and Lorenzo White has little or no work to get to the end zone. Look at Matthews. I mean, that's 275, 280 on 225. Jamison is a great player, but Chris Spielman is out because of the concession to the run and shoot. And that's the sacrifice that Detroit has made all day to the run and shoot.
All right, the expression Spielman continues to pace like a lion. He just wants to play so desperately. Now he's out there on special teams. Here's a Pro Bowler, special teams.
I asked him when we were talking in the locker room the other day what his day went like, and he said, I start watching film at 6:15 in the morning
to 8:30. He says, I like to beat the coaches in. Then I take a film home and watch another hour at night. His wife doesn't totally understand.
No, she says, nobody else does it. He says, that's why I'm doing it.
Del Greco trying to keep the ball away from Mel Gray. They don't at the 14. But it was kicked high enough that the coverage is excellent. Gray only to the 24. The Lions have 1 minute 11 seconds for Kramer to rally them down 24-21 on a day when Cody Carlson has a career high 338 yards passing. And on Sunday, I know a lot of the guys from the various teams enjoying this telecast. That's part of the tradition as well. They practice and watch the game. Here's our lineup. Kansas City and the Jets, but Miami and New Orleans will be the feature game. 2 outstanding clubs, both sporting 8 and 3 marks. Kramer goes to work in a hurry. Triple right. Right down. An excellent catch by Herman Moore. Man who nailed a 77-yard touchdown reception. And it's a penalty against Detroit for holding.
Illegal use of the hands to the face. Number 62 offense. 10 yards. still first down.
Blake Miller's second call today.
You just saw a picture of Wayne Fonts. I think he wanted us to make the point that regardless of the outcome today, he emphasized to us that this year is the aberration for this football team. Last year is the kind of football team this Detroit Lion football team is and will be in the future.
There's so many things happen when you have a great start in Sanders, but first half of the year they have no one to block for him. And well covered was Perriman. Steve Jackson was hounding him all the way to the sidelines, and Kramer kind of looked to his receiver all the way.
And you know, coaches like easy decisions. This performance by Eric Kramer today has made Wayne Fonts a very difficult decision. What does he do? Who does he start at quarterback next week? Kramer's been hurried, he's been hustled, he's been harassed, but he's not thrown the ball particularly well.
Yeah, those aren't bad numbers, though. And even though he says Rodney Peete is his #1 quarterback, Peete didn't play today. Not promised after the Cincinnati game that Peete would see action today. That's the complications of being a head coach. Kramer breaks out of the grasp of Sean Jones for a moment, but then stumbles down. That'll be a sack for Jones. His total now 6.5 on the year. Kramer calls time with 52 seconds left. So the Lions' hopes are dimming on this Thanksgiving Day. 24-21 Houston. Kramer with Dan Henning, who calls the plays, the offensive coordinator. Wayne Fonts, when Henning was fired out at San Diego, called him and wanted to bring, and I think even during the days of Mouse Davis here with a total run and shoot, that Fonts never totally comfortable with not having tight ends and that part of the offense.
And Dick, I think today is a perfect example of why they want to get to tight ends and make the offense more multiple. Houston was able to shut down Barry Sanders in the last half of this football game.
52 seconds left in a tough 3rd and 23 for the Lions. Jackson intercepts for Houston, and that should do it for the Oilers at the 26-yard line. Steve Jackson, his second of the season. Kevin Donnelly, you saw cheering that play as Donnelly, his first start for the injured Don Maggs.
Childress puts pressure up under right underneath Kramer. See 79 coming in there? Can't really follow through. He didn't even see who he was throwing it to. Hey, let's give credit to these Houston Oilers. The third of 3 road games, Minnesota, Miami, and then here in Detroit. As many problems as this Houston franchise has experienced this year, 2-1 on this road trip is amazing.
And they came here 6-5, where a loss 6-6 might have taken them out of the playoffs. Now they'll go home 7-5, and they have 3 of their last 4 at home. The Bears, Green Bay, then they go to Cleveland and finish at home against the Buffalo Bills.
Yes, and Carlson has done a great job. He did the job today. Cody Carlson did in replacing Warren Moon. Got him the win.
Special guests on the Old Spice postgame report: Lawrence Taylor, the Giants, and Warren Moon of the Houston Oilers, 2 star veterans of the National Football League. Now time for the Hager Wrinkle Free Cotton Super play of the game. Apparently the winning touchdown play by Lorenzo White, who has rushed for 14 times today, 68 yards. This 8-yard touchdown. Also caught 6 passes for 69. A day of production for Lorenzo White, the former Michigan State All-America. 137 yards. That's our Hager Cotton Super play of the game. Our thanks, as always, to our executive producer, Terry O'Neill, coordinating producer of NBC Football, John Paratzis, who has produced today's game telecast. John Gonzalez, who sends along a happy birthday to his grandmother, 91 years young today. This is Nancy Ed Fibashaw, Tim DeKine, Joe Rasnick, Mitch Geller, Ross Schneiderman, Joe Costanza.
Dick, there's one last thing to do to finish this broadcast. We never got to the mud story with Jack Pardee. We never told the end of the mud story. what the mud was for.
I don't think we want to tell it yet, do you?
All right,
the mud helps the drilling in oil. Apparently, when you drill for oil, you run into pockets where there's nothing there, so you send mud down to give weight to the drilling operation. That's about as best I can simplify it. And he said, yes, I did buy the mud.
He bought the mud. He said he went down to the oil business. You see the derrick on his jacket. He went down to the oil business just as it went away.
Man, boy, what his Thanksgiving days must have been. He went to a school that had only 8 in the graduating class. He played 6-man football, was an honor student at Texas A&M, an academic All-America, is in the Hall of Fame as a college football star. He played in the league 15 years as a linebacker, wore number 32 with the Los Angeles Rams. Never said much, but boy, was he a doer.
Oh, he could play. He could play.
Now, he's gotten old fast in this season, though, I'll tell you that.
Yes, he has.
It's been a tough season, but he'll go home with a smile. Boy, to beat the Vikings and to beat the Lions on the road and almost beat Miami last week. Pretty good effort by the Houston Oilers. Meanwhile, the Detroit Lions, on a day of very deep emotion, go 3-9, and this perhaps symbolic of their entire season, as you see Andre Ware, who won the Heisman playing for the University of Houston. Pardee was his coach. For Wayne Fonts, just not enough. A lot of emotion and a lot of caring on this team, but just not enough to get the job done.
Dick, maybe this Thanksgiving Day with Mike Utley here is now the opportunity for the Detroit Lions to go forward. Maybe this was a defining moment, a defining weekend for the Detroit Lions. Because this is a quality football team. What's happened off the field has been more injurious to this team than what's happened on the field.
All right, stay with us now. The Old Spice post-game report coming up. They'll have highlights of today's game. You'll hear from Mike Utley, his reaction and his inspiration, as well as from Warren Moon and Lawrence Taylor. From Mike Utley, those smiles are very real, even though his Lions failed to Houston 24-21.